Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another advisory package update here on now, once again, Tropical Storm Cristobal. It is now back in the Gulf of Mexico and heading towards the Gulf Coast here as it'll make landfall most likely by the next 30 hours here as a tropical storm. We already have tropical storm warnings and also storm surge warnings for millions across Louisiana all the way to Florida due to the rough oceans and also strong winds and extreme flooding. We can also see up to a foot of rain for portions of Florida and portions of Louisiana. Going to be seeing dangerous flooding, extreme winds, also deadly storm surge. We're going to be seeing waves up to 9 to 14 feet. But we have major updates on Tropical Storm Cristobal. We have updates on the track, the intensity guidance, also the central pressure, and also where the system actually is right now. I'm also going to keep a close eye on the new alerts here from the National Weather Service to see if we actually maybe have some more storm surge warnings, tropical storm warnings, or any of that. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Also, be sure to subscribe to show your awesome support from my YouTube channel. And also be sure to hit the like button if you really enjoyed the video. Also, be sure to share the video to anybody that you know is in the path of this major tropical storm, Cristobal, so they are weather aware and ready to get hit by a tropical storm. So hopefully you guys are ready. But without further ado, let's get into this video. So here we are looking at the 5-day tropical weather outlook here. So here we have Tropical Storm Cristobal here at 50 miles per hour here, or 45 knots there at maximum sustained wind. It is now as low as 992 millibars. So it has definitely strengthened a lot since it's come out of the Yucatan Peninsula. So it's now moving north at 12 miles per hour. So as you see, it is moving a lot faster than it was a couple of days ago. And as you see, we now have this tropical storm winds, which I expected to go up to 100% chance here for the Gulf of Mexico, and we have as high as a 70 to an 80% chance for tropical storm force winds for portions of New Orleans. If you guys are wondering why we also have tropical storm warnings across areas all the way to Florida, it's because we are going to be seeing some strong tropical storm wind gusts, not real-time winds. Portions of Alabama and Mississippi can possibly have a 30 to 40% chance, and even portions of Mississippi can get 50 to 60% chance. Louisiana and Mississippi are definitely going to get hit with the strongest winds there, or portions of eastern Louisiana and portions of western and southern Mississippi are going to be getting the strongest winds here. That's a huge update there. Also, let's go check out the rainfall, potential rainfall. Storm surge and flash lightning is definitely going to be the primary threat. And as you see, we have major updates on the accumulation. So as you see, portions of Florida aren't seeing the most amount of rain here. And I'm also going to be showing you another rainfall model at the end of the video, so you guys actually know that I'm not lying when it comes to Florida not getting as much rain. Portions of Tallahassee can get 2 to 4 inches there. Portions of the Big Bend and portions near portions near Gainesville, Florida can be up to 4 to 6 inches, at most 4 to 6 inches for portions there. Even parts of the western coast of Florida can be 2 to 4 inches there. But this is where the most amount of rain is going to be for portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, now even Alabama can get up to 6 to maybe even 8 inches of rain for portions of these areas of the Gulf, including Hattiesburg, including portions near New Orleans, Gulfport, and even areas like Jackson, Mississippi, Memphis, Mobile, all the way to Jefferson City, Missouri can get to 4 to 6 inches for this system. Missouri is going to get up to a half foot of rain from this, and look how far inland it is. So New Orleans and the coast of portions of Alabama, Mississippi are definitely going to get extreme, and I mean extreme rain. As you look at the risk of flash flooding, it's up to a 20% moderate risk. I would not rule out the possibility of a 50% high risk, and that moderate risk is for portions of portions for Mississippi and portions of eastern Louisiana and the southern coast of Mississippi, not Florida. We have a very widespread slight risk for flooding, flash flooding. That's going to be for portions all the way to Tampa Bay, even portions near Jacksonville, portions of Tallahassee, all the way for portions of Missouri for the lower Mississippi Valley Basin. The Mississippi River is definitely going to get hit extremely hard by this. And let's go and check out the National Weather Service here for the new updates here, because the National Hurricane Center only shows tropical storm warnings, watches, and also hurricanes, but they don't show storm surge warnings here. As you see here, we have these tropical storm warnings here for portions of Alabama. Right here. So let's go and check out right here near the Mobile area. This is that far east that these tropical storm warnings go. So areas like near Pensacola and even areas in the far western coast of the Florida Panhandle near Pensacola, you guys have a tropical storm warning. Only because you guys are going to be seeing tropical storm force wind gust, not the real-time winds. We have these tropical storm watches for portions like Gulfport. And the new updates, we had now storm surge watches. Storm surge watches. As you can see, surf up to 9 to 13 feet. And huge and dangerous rip currents. You definitely don't want to go out. Coastal flooding can be up to 2 to 3 feet. So extreme. And at higher amounts, up to 10 inches of rain with higher amounts for portions of southeastern Mississippi here. Absolutely crazy here. Let's go and check the areas near Louisiana. So as you see, New Orleans is now under a tropical storm warning and storm surge warning. These model tracks have continued to move to the east. So New Orleans might get hit extremely hard. Baton Rouge, Huma, and other areas in the eastern Louisiana coast are either under storm surge watch and tropical storm warning, or storm surge warning and tropical storm warning. And in areas like New Iberia and the central Louisiana coast, we have tropical storm watches here. Let's go and see that near areas near Abbeville, Lafayette, and New Iberia, Franklin, all those other areas near Morgan City as well under flood warnings. Absolutely crazy. And now we have these flash flood watches for portions of Alabama and even Florida, hours and hours ahead of time of the system. Let's go and check out now the satellite imagery here. As you see, the system is getting a bit more organized here. We are seeing some strong convection here. We are seeing a lot of convection, a lot of vorticity in this right now. A ton of vorticity. Low pressure is right here. As you see, we are seeing an exposed center of the system. Very dense cloud cover. Very dense cloud cover for the outer bands, but we are seeing a lot of convection right here. A lot of convection entering this general vicinity right here. A lot of convection. And we have our general low pressure right here. And it is exposed because it was stalling in the middle of Mexico, but now it is back in the just to the east of the Bay of Campeche, now spilling out to the Gulf of Mexico there. As it continues to strengthen, we'll definitely see some outer bands with the vorticity. We will see these kind of dense cloud cover wrap around, and then we'll see this exposed eye wall as it is becoming a stronger tropical storm. As we see, here we have the tropical storm warnings for portions as far east as Florida, all the way to portions of Louisiana in that dark blue. We are not expecting hurricane watches or hurricane warnings, but we are expecting tropical storm warnings and storm surge warnings to continue to become a bit more widespread and maybe even inland areas as well. New Orleans, Gulfport, Mobile, Pensacola, very big cities that are under these tropical storm warnings, and then other areas like central Louisiana coast are under tropical storm watches because they are on the outer edge of the cone. New Orleans is just to the east of the center of the system will go, or where we expect the center of the system to go. Who knows if it does shift a bit more to the east, like it has been doing a lot of the new updates. So here it is expected to go straight through areas like Little Rock as a tropical depression, and it won't become a subtropical depression until it passes Wisconsin. Absolutely crazy. This thing's going to go all the way to Canada as a post-tropical depression. The fact that this thing's going to take a while to actually weaken. Look, it's going to be all the way to Missouri as a tropical depression, not subtropical, but as a tropical cyclone. Absolutely crazy, all the way to Missouri, maybe even Illinois. But here we have these tropical storm watches, tropical storm warnings and tropical storm watches for portions of the Gulf Coast. As we did not check out the new track guidance, it's actually very organized now. I'm so glad they are finally agreeing. Now, all the landfalls indicate for eastern Louisiana and then spilling out as far north as portions of Canada. But it's definitely bringing a lot of rain for portions of Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana. It's going to bring in a lot of rain for these general areas. A ton of rain. So you're definitely going to be seeing a lot of rain and a lot of systems, a lot of moist air in the general vicinity of the Mississippi River, basically. As you see, we are expecting landfall by the next 30 hours. And by the next 48 hours, it'll be either in the Mississippi and Louisiana border or areas near Monroe, Louisiana. So this is expecting to possibly go out to Mississippi as well. So this is expected to possibly go throughout eastern Louisiana and then maybe spill back out into Mississippi and then go like that. So it is expected to definitely affect Mississippi really, really hard. A couple days ago, we were expecting it to go like this, but now we're expecting it to go like this. So a huge, huge model track guidance here. So basically, this is the cone. If you are in somewhat near the these models, that means you are in the cone. You definitely want to keep an eye on this. So as you see, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, 96 hours, 120 hours, 148 hours, and 168 hours. So this thing's going to go like this. This is exactly where this Cristobal is going to go until it becomes post-tropical in portions of the Midwest. As we now check at the tropical storm model intensity guidance, this is very complicated. Let me just say this. It's been on and off. Honestly, I have no idea. Once this makes landfall and passes Missouri, have no idea what's going to happen with the system, really. Models are indicating this obviously will weaken as it does make landfall, but the thing is, how much will it weaken? 50-50, there's a 50-50 really outcome. 50% of the models do show it weakening to post-tropical or to tropical depression, but like 60 hours and then becoming post-tropical later on. So as you see, this is the borderline of tropical depression and tropical storm. Basically, it's going to be at its peak by basically the next 36 hours, basically before landfall. And then it's going to go straight down. That's 50% of the models, and then staying subtropical. But the other 50% of the models do show it weakening, but not enough to go to tropical depression, and they show strengthening once again. That's absolutely crazy. As you see, a lot of the models are showing it staying tropical storm force winds all the way to 168 hours. And if you didn't see, 168 hours, it's all the way in Canada. All the way in Canada. This thing will not last being a tropical storm going through Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, parts of Ontario, all the way to Canada. This thing will not last being a tropical storm. But that's what 50% intensity guidance does show you. As we now look at the new GFS update, here it is at 994 millibars for the next 6 hours here, and it's expected to strengthen. I don't know why I pressed play. It's expected to strengthen to 993 millibars the next 30 hours, and then make landfall the next 42 hours here at 991 millibars. And it's going to go through portions of eastern Louisiana, bring extremely heavy rain for portions of Mississippi and Louisiana, and even heavy rain for parts of the coastal areas of Florida as well. We will expect a lot of flash flooding, and a lot of moist air, and a lot of downed trees, and all of that. This is expected to be at 995 millibars by the entrance to Arkansas, and it strengthens. It strengthens at 993 millibars. That's going to bring catastrophic flooding for portions of the Mississippi River. We're going to be seeing flood warnings there for days after this passes by. CMC model, absolutely crazy what the CMC's model is showing for Florida. It's going to bring catastrophic flooding for the portions right here and right here. Absolutely catastrophic flooding for Florida based on the CMC model. But GFS and Europeans seem to be the most accurate when it comes to tropics. So you can't just because one model shows it doesn't mean it's accurate. Most models don't show that much rain for Florida or Georgia or Alabama. But CMC is the one that's kind of popping out. Look at all this rain. Look at this. All of this rain. Georgia, Florida, the whole panhandle is going to get absolutely demolished by the rain. And then it does make landfall as 1,001 millibars. Very weak compared to other models. And then it moves up into the coast. As we now check out the Icon model really quickly here. Icon, this is not showing as much rain as the CMC is showing for Florida. Absolutely crazy what the CMC is showing. And it's making landfall at 992 millibars, just almost like the GFS. And then it goes up into the areas in Missouri. But really thing I want to check out is the total cumulative precipitation here. For Florida, for Tallahassee, the general area, see, this is going to bring in a ton of rain, as you see. For portions of Tallahassee, you guys are expecting up to 3 inches maximum. But portions of the Big Bend of Florida, just south of Tallahassee, can be expecting 4.5 inches at maximum based on the Icon model, which is a new model, which has seemed to be quite accurate this past year. But areas of Florida, a portion of Georgia can be even say maybe 1 to 2 inches, all the way as far as the Atlantic, southeastern coast. As we now look at the icon model for the South Central and the Gulf Coast or the Gulf Coast for Mississippi and Louisiana and Alabama, this is where things change a lot. We expect up to 10 inches of rain for portions of the Florida islands there, or Alabama islands, and even portions of the Louisiana islands, and we could possibly expect up to 6 inches of rain for portions of inland Mississippi, and up to 4 and 5, maybe 4 inches for portions as far inland as Missouri, and that's going to continue bringing a ton of rain. CMC. Now this seems to be absolutely crazy, and I don't believe this, guys. Do not believe this. This is way too much. Even if we had these totals and put it right here, that's still way too much. I mean, even if we had this amount of rain, but we replaced it for Louisiana and Mississippi, I still wouldn't believe that. Too much rain. CMC is showing way too much rain on the one-sided system here, and I'm sorry, but this is not accurate. This is not gonna happen. I know CMC is it's not the most accurate. I hate this. It's not the most accurate when it comes to the tropics. I mean, it's accurate sometimes, but not as accurate as the European GFS. This is showing up to 20 inches of rain for Georgia and Florida. Guys, that sounds crazy just saying that. So do not believe this. I mean, you can choose to believe it, but this is definitely not going to happen. Maybe they can see 8 inches at most, but even 8 inches seems to be a lot for portions of Georgia and Florida. GFS model, this one seems a bit more accurate in my opinion. I would obviously add a bit more rain for these areas, but could possibly expect for Tallahassee up to less than 2 inches there. Parts of near Panama City up to 4 inches, maybe 5 inches. But as we now look at the 10-meter winds here, for the GFS, going to be seeing at the 45 knots there at 994 millibars, and it's going to bring very strong wind gusts for portions of Alabama and Florida. That's exactly why I have these tropical storm warnings. That's far east of those areas. And then it makes landfall and brings some strong winds for portions of the South Central. Last thing we'll be looking at is the European rainfall totals. And as you see, for a portion of Tallahassee, it is showing up to possibly 3 inches, really. But just to the east of Tallahassee, we can have an area of up to a foot of rain. I obviously think this is obviously a little bit too much as well. I think that's a little too much, but it's definitely not as bad as the CMC. That's crazy. Portions of Georgia can possibly see to 4 or 5 inches. I mean, that's maybe a little too much there in my opinion, but CMC is showing up at 2 feet, and this seems very accurate. These rainfall totals for the Mississippi and Louisiana, this seems very accurate. This is definitely spot on in my opinion. We can possibly expect up to 10 to 13 inches of rain for portions north of New Orleans and the Bay Area, and we can expect a portion of the 8 inches to 10 inches widespread for eastern Louisiana. Portion of Mississippi and inland Mississippi and Louisiana can possibly have 4 to 6 inches. Hope you guys did enjoy the video though. Please do not forget to like and subscribe here. As you see, I'm going to be monitoring this very closely. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys.